What if ancient cultures weren't just building temples and pyramids, but technologies for the mind? What if they knew something we forgot, or were forced to forget? From psychedelic rituals to mystical initiation, from brain-shaped temples to suppressed practices, this is the war on consciousness, and it's been raging for thousands of years. Let's start with something weird. The ancient Egyptians built the Temple of Luxor with a layout that, if you look at it from above, looks just like the human brain. Coincidence? Maybe. This wasn't a one-time thing. Ancient structures across the world seem to reflect parts of the mind. Pineal gland, corpus callosum, hemispheres. The ancients weren't just obsessed with geometry, they were mapping inner space. Meanwhile, we're over here using our minds to scroll TikTok until our souls leak out of our eyeballs and our brains shrivel up into nothing. The brain was sacred, not just for logic or memory, but for connecting to the divine. In many cultures, enlightenment wasn't metaphorical. It was a process, a technology of consciousness. Enter the ancient world of plant medicines. Ayahuasca, psilocybin, peyote, soma. These weren't party drugs, these were portals. Shamanic cultures from the Amazon to Siberia used these substances to access altered states, where they claimed to speak to spirits, ancestors, even cosmic intelligences. And they all said the same thing. We are more than the body, reality is deeper than it seems, and the universe is alive. I've experienced this firsthand during my recovery journey. When I stopped numbing and started listening, things got odd, but clear. It wasn't about escaping, it was about remembering. Take the Eleusinian mysteries in ancient Greece, an annual ritual that lasted nearly 2,000 years. Initiates drank a mysterious brew called kykeon, saw visions, and came out transformed. Even Plato and Cicero said it gave them true wisdom. Today, many scholars think it contained ergot, a psychedelic fungus. So basically, the foundation of Western philosophy may have come from a sacred trip. Plato being the original psychonaut. Cultures around the world pointed to a seat of consciousness in the brain, what we call the pineal gland or third eye. The Hindus called it the Ajna chakra. The Egyptians put it in the eye of Horus. Descartes called it the seat of the soul. The pineal gland literally produces DMT, a powerful psychedelic. It's the chemical released during dreaming, near-death experiences, maybe even at birth and death. And yet, it's calcified in most people by middle age, heavily affected by fluoride, poor diet, and trauma. What if the closing of the third eye isn't symbolic, but chemical warfare on your spiritual potential? Here's where it gets dark. For most of human history, altered states were sacred, but over time, especially with the rise of dogmatic religions and later industrial society, these practices were demonized or banned. Shamans became heretics, plant medicine became drugs, mystical experience became madness. The modern world wants you addicted to unhealthy chemicals, productive, and asleep. We traded divine downloads for corporate PowerPoints. Look at the war on drugs, which didn't target addiction, but consciousness itself. Psychedelics were showing people too much. Unity, compassion, oneness. That's dangerous in a society built on fear and separation. There's a reason people like Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, and even Carl Jung warned about the war on inner experience. But here's the good news. The war isn't over, and people are waking up. Psychedelics are being decriminalized, meditation and breathwork are going mainstream, ancient knowledge is being remembered. You don't need to go full monk in a cave, but maybe turn down the noise, look inward, and ask, what am I really? What was I before the trauma, addiction, the conditioning? What would happen if I fully woke up? The ancients left us a roadmap, not to a temple, but to ourselves. The war on consciousness is real, but so is the path out of it. If you're still here watching, then something in you is awake or waking up. Maybe you're just starting to ask the big questions. Maybe you've been through hell and back already. Maybe you're in the middle of it right now. Wherever you are, this message is for you. This society is designed to keep us small. It feeds us fear, division, addiction, distraction on repeat. It tells us healing is weakness, that stillness is laziness, that silence means you're lost. But here's the truth. Stillness is power. Healing is rebellion. Consciousness is the ultimate act of freedom. There's a war on your mind, not just from the outside, but from the inside too. The old programming, the voice that says you're not enough, the shame, the guilt, the lie that you'll never change. I know that voice. I've lived under it. I've tried to drown it, but it's not you. That voice is what you've been taught. It's not who you are. The real you is wild, sacred, curious. The real you doesn't need to be fixed, it just needs to be heard. That's what the ancients knew. When you look inward, when when you face the darkness, the silence, the self, you find not emptiness, but everything. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a guru. You don't even need to fully understand where you're going. You just need to say, I'm done sleepwalking. I'm done giving my power away. I choose to wake up. Because waking up doesn't mean you float around on a cloud, blissed out and perfect. Waking up means you remember your worth. It means you get up every day and choose to be present, even when it hurts. You choose curiosity over shame, growth over guilt, truth over fear. This isn't just content, this is a signal, a reminder that you're part of something ancient, sacred, and very much alive. So if you're on this path, keep going. If you've fallen off, get back up. And if you feel alone, know that you are not. This isn't the end of the story, the start of remembering who you really are. Thank you for being here. If this hit something real for you, leave a comment. Let's build something here. Like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about, because the more of us that wake up, the less power fear has. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay awake, stay human, and keep going. You got this.